Now, the chimpanzee has a flat behind. And for the big one, the chimpanzee has a white skin. They've been pulling that false thing on us for years and years and years about our being closest to the ape. When all they have to do is just have a picture or go to the zoo and look at the ape. Doesn't look anything like us at all. My research shows that 20 years ago, a group of English archaeologists found a vase in our motherland, in Egypt. And they unearthed it in a substrata of earth 9,000 years old. And they found this vase made by our mothers and fathers 9,000 years ago. And on the vase were inscribed the words, fraction 1/2. And what does that tell us? That tells us that our fathers and mothers at least 9,000 years ago had reading and writing. We gave the world reading and writing. 9,000 years ago. And it tells us, and we have the picture of the vase and the documentation to prove it, that the vase tells us we had mathematics 9,000 years ago. In fact, 3,700 years ago, we gave algebra to the world by one of our fathers whose name was Ahmed. And his book today showing how algebra was created is in the British Library in London today. We have pictures of the pages of that book. So there's no question that not only did we give civilization to the world, but it was thousands and thousands of years before any other race. In fact, the first book in Europe was written by Homer 2,800 years ago, 7,000 years later. Now, Homer said in his book, the Iliad. How many of you heard of the Iliad and the Odyssey? Well, these are highly educated. He said in there that every year the gods of Greece traveled to Africa to sup with Africa's faultless people. Wait a minute. Faultless people. Faultless in beauty. Faultless in intellect. Faultless in morality. Faultless. That means without fault. This is what the Greeks thought of us. Not only did they just say that, but they named their most beautiful star constellations after two black queens, Cassiopeia and Andromeda. So I think we should give ourselves just a hand for our fathers and mothers.